bus. Let's drop on in. NAE's kicking off, and right away we already see we started Europe with a pickaxe fight. Instead, it's a 50-50, and Mini is going to take out that Liquid player right there. Probably not an actual one. This is what you get out of it, and that's not a whole lot, Shy. You don't want to go into a fight with just a Grey Tack and a fishing rod. Your options are extremely limited. Here comes a box fight, though, against it. Can he win it? And no, missing a crucial shot. Mini now picking up 2 elims very early, and all of a sudden...
Time and time afterwards. So 2 right now, 2 more people available in front of him. Add those together, I think he's going to be leaving here with 4 eliminations if he plays this right, and he does. It's the first pick onto Junior. He gets taken out right afterwards. A little bit of a skip there just based off of that boost from Steamy Stacks. He's going to use that sound to kind of play around with what his game plan is going to be. The other person in the box can only hear him going up, not exactly...
I mean, dropping in right as this fight gets in a resolution, not giving the player enough time. However, a heavy pump coming out is going to force him off for a second, and then the other shots coming in. You notice, look down that bottom right-hand corner. There might only be 64 players left, but 6 of them are right on top of each other within shooting distance here. And Mini is all of a sudden in serious trouble. Shuffle not picking up the elim, but does benefit from all the loot. It was Nico Pique on the other side. You can check him out. He's streaming over there.
Could that be because they don't have that mythic drum gun in their inventory? I mean, every fight we've seen so far has just been with tacks and ARs. You have to be a little bit more tactical. You don't have 40 bullets to just shove into someone's face.
Yeah, it makes it really, really, really difficult, particularly when you're going around and trying to find out these fights. As we shuffle back on over to Shuffle, who is now hunting prey and just, putting that epic AR that he got gifted over from the fight to work, not even giving Crypt outside of Misty Meadows with a decent amount of kit. However, gets traded back out, not having his shotgun out there, a little bit of a flub, and only the 1 Mini to get up to what is now 125 effective HP.
He's looking for his second elimination here. If he tries to get it, if he needs that effective HP so bad, it can come at a cost. And afterwards as well, even capitalizing on it, which he tries to do, doesn't happen. It'll make these people then fall into a rhythm where they could actually stumble on the beat, because we saw the way Mini was walking. He had a lot of confidence. If you kind of go over your boundaries, you can get into positions where you're...
After the initial farming phase, they rely on refreshing, eliminating another player and picking up their supply in order to top off, because you don't often get a ton of room to farm resources as you're rotating around the map. That's why I can say players get hyper aggressive once they've committed to a fight, and a nice little top off there, getting the elimination for 4 points, and an additional about 38 mats from that.
A lot of people are looking to just survive, re-thrive again. There's a bunch of campfires around to get your health back up. Shuffle doesn't want anything to do with that. When he gets in zone, his refreshes, his health pool is going to be there and topped off by eliminations that he gets in these big box fights that don't actually go too high. He controls them. You can see the pyramid stopping. The Dimmadome, the classic build fight strat we don't see too much of because fights get so complicated and predicted, but when you have this big skill disparity between Shuffle and the competition, they can end fast. You can use these classic strategies.
It's equal to a point up until you get into the top 20, then it becomes every 5 is 2 points. So you definitely want to aim for that top 20, but so far the story today has been all about aggression as we see another PG style fight coming out.
And it's unique aggression as well. One thing to take note on in this format, at least in these lobbies and with Shuffle, is look at when he actually does damage and how long the fight lasts after that. Usually ended in quick succession against people that have a big skill disparity against him. Now the word to kind of put all that into effect is efficiency. He's really good at getting that damage down, getting into a position where he can end a fight immediately and not get put in a position where it's prolonged. When that happens, you get a moment like this where it's 2 people, similar skill, in the same box. They end up going to a 50-50, and when someone has the drum gun, doesn't matter how much momentum you have, doesn't matter how many times you can. And then this is also one of my favorite themes in a game where, at least for the zone, Weeping Woods which is a kind of barrier for a lot of different relationships people have mid to end game when it comes to height versus low ground, when it comes to aggressive box fights. Everything's a little bit more secluded, a little bit more isolated, and you get moments like these where third parties become a little bit easier. No one can really focus you. Right now, Twexo not even building around him, pushing the edge of a zone, which if you were doing at Frenzy Farms might be kind of foolish. If you're in this position in the woods, you never know what to expect in the shade and in the shadows. You can just have any fight you please. Metal walls, doesn't matter. This is what Sundown was talking about. A head straight through, right past the stairs, the left side hook, and it's a punch straight to the face. Twexo gets his 5th elimination, and he is on a roll.
Are able to aggress on the rest of the lobby, but the placement points, they'll stick, and if you can get them through the 10 games, it ends up adding up as Rinks just rolls over traps, and we have our top 30.
Not from a drum gun this time, but from an AR getting picked up on this rotation. Sometimes really hard to get a pick, but must have been a launch pattern. Now, the last 2 eliminations in the lobby have all been to Rinks, so I'm wondering how many more he's going to have from this position, because now he just has 4. Refreshes, though, 100% he does need Sundown, and that gun, the drum, a material magnet, not only from just the bullets rattling on everyone's cages, but getting those refreshes afterwards as well. You're absolutely right. I can only expect who he's going to choose first. It might be this person on the left playing for zone. Right now, he stays up, looks for AR beams first.
Honestly, like, I don't think he needs a refresher anymore. He has a launch pad. He pulled zone. He can just high ground here. Yeah, he just connects to that pass high ground over there. This is all the builds he's going to need to use. And then he's good. And then just wait in late launches. As long as he can keep this high ground right here, like, he can burn as much as he needs. You can see BG Certified just gets cut off right away and gives it up. Rinks taking it away, but the key here, because he got challenged for high ground, that's all time. He hasn't spent rifling or spraying somebody with a drum gun. And if he's not doing that, he's not converting on elims. And all of these people who are all of a sudden in a much worse position than him have taken that zip line that runs straight across the zone or taken their emergency launch pads while he wasn't looking. He did 0 damage, and now he has 38 builds to try and get across with people behind him on the high ground. Like, he's gone from in a great spot to kind of an awkward position. He's going to have to launch pad here shortly or connect over in a drop down. Like, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that choice by him.
I mean, it was kind of a duel of fates over a lava pit because there was a grappler gun on the other side of the person trying to take height. So I understand the overbuild, kind of put in a very bad position, could have burned himself off, but luckily survives with minimal damage. And you talk about a bad position, a mediocre moment, although he doesn't get a big refresh off of that elimination. At the same time, he picks up another point, and a fast one at that, a record-breaking, probably just 1 second mid-air elim with the drum. And Launchpad's all the way to height to actually use his last mat for pressure, although doesn't find anything off of it. That's another interesting decision. Rinks is playing very aggressively right now.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought he was going to launch pad and then try and find the builds from the player he coned off, and then he opted to go for height and try and take that refresher. But as you said, he only had 2 builds. That was his last build right there. Now he has 0. What does he run around with? What is the weapon of choice? You'd think it would be that mythic drum gun, but instead, swapping over to the AR, trying to maximize the amount of ammo because he needs to get a reload off on that drum gun. Does have a long time. Start spraying it off there. Let's take a look at the rest of the lobby as Ben does go down to Rinks and that drum gun again. Now on the middle tarp, misses the pump shot, follows up 2 ticks, knows he can clean it up with the pump when he sees the white, gets it off so he can finish the reload, and then... Okay, I was about to say, it looks like he wanted the tack, but accidentally dropped the drum gun and then just stuck with it. Little bit of a flub there, so gonna have to stick with the pump, and it honestly cost him. Just bad decision making there, wrong weapon swaps, and then panicked a little bit. Hop on board with Minx on the high ground.
Yeah, a little bit of oversaturation of emotions right there. He couldn't actually have any sense of what was going on around him. But that's okay, because still, a good game, nice placements, top 10, and a lot of eliminations. We'll see, though, who can wrap up the rest of the competition. 5 total people left alive. Mink all the way up on height with 3 himself. And we can see a vertical, everyone just holding off their own zones. A vertical zone right here where every single layer is claimed by someone else. Still, though, to get to that point, you have to get an investment. Mink, for height at least, the hardest zone to hold, or the hardest layer to hold, is going to be investing a lot with just about 80 materials left, now up to 100, farming out a full tree, which is very good. Gets 2 for 1, actually, in the end game. And has to expand here, looking for something. But with 3 floppers, might be able to play the heal game. I just don't think he'll have enough mats to make it all the way till the end. Tank, though, all the way down below, or TNTKE, is getting all these elims. No waterfall available from Mink. He has the surprise drop down, though, and the floppers to hopefully get back up and hold this lead.
And now it's a 1v1 down to the end. Rockets coming up, dropping down to the level. Only 4 more builds and 4 elims here to close out the first match we're watching on NAE. And it's as simple as the Kuna stare edit. Flip it back over. Force him to drop down in front of you.